opinions expressed on this reality TV podcast are not backed up by any professional degrees. While Jami and Jessi are experts in everything, they're certified in nothing. Comments made should be taken with a grain of salt, a glass of Pinot Grigio, and a sense of humor.
Jessi, we are back for another wonderful episode of Say Yes to the Mess. How's everything going?
I'm good and I'm well rested. However, you had a weekend that I'm literally dying to hear about.
Yes.
I couldn't stop thinking about you all weekend. And, you didn't post a lot over the weekend, but I think you're going to be catching up here soon. But
I am.
yeah. So how are you doing is actually the big question.
I am tired and invigorated at the same time because it was the trip of a lifetime. BravoCon 2025. It was my first time at BravoCon. It was such a well worth it trip. Like it just for all the reasons. Like I basically made new friends that I feel like I told them, I was like, and we were drunk when we said this, but we're like, we're going to be friends forever. Like it was like so cheesy, but like I meant it. And I want to give them a shout out. So Giorgio, he's Giorgio says, or Giorgio says it all. I can't remember. That's his handle on TikTok and probably Instagram too. He talks about housewives. He's amazing. I love him so much. There's Oliver, and I think his name is Oliver.
I love Oliver.
Oh, everybody loves Oliver.
We've been sending his TikToks.
You and I.
Yeah, because of just his impersonations of specifically Mary Cosby. He does them all great, but Mary Cosby is like
he does Mary Cosby to a T. So he does like lip sync videos to actual like housewives like audio, and he will like replay the scenes. He's just so good at what he does, and all the housewives love him, by the way. And he got stopped 1 billion times while we're walking around BravoCon because everybody loves his content. Yeah. So he's at Oliver Sims something, but on TikTok,
like TikTok or something like that.
Yeah, TikTok, Instagram, and then Farai is so freaking sweet. He's the guy. He sits in his car like I do, a lot, or he's at home. He's wherever. He films wherever, and he just talks shit about the housewives, and he just gives his opinions, and he's so unserious about it. Like he's just like he has a lot of energy, and he's just so funny, and he like laughs about it, and like so he is just. If you saw his picture, you would know exactly who I'm talking about. It's Farai, and it's probably his last name, but it's Farai. So go find these people on social media. They are amazing. They're my new besties. I love them all. So we spent the entire weekend together. And of course, I was with Chef Stu the entire weekend. He and I had all this stuff planned. And remind me to tell you about a Mary Cosby. I'm just going to go into Mary Cosby real quick.
Okay.
Because I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
So it was the first night, Thursday. I stayed Thursday to Sunday. By the way, my voice is like barely hanging on. Just
I can't believe you have one.
Barely.
We saw you on that karaoke mic.
Girl, I had to do it. I had to drop a little something on them.
I know.
Yeah, I'll talk about that too. That was a creator event. That was so fun. Oliver and I had just met that day, the day that I came in, Thursday. And we were sitting at the Four Seasons bar, getting to know each other.
How did you meet? Like, did you go up to him and say like, oh my God,
Stu might have known him. Or I actually don't even remember. I think Stu knows Oliver because Oliver has been on Stu's show. Mm-hmm. So it was through Stu. And then we just clicked. I'm like, I knew I would love you. I said, I've watched your content forever. He goes, I've been watching your content. And he loves my takes. And I obviously love his content. And so we kind of bonded over that. And I was like, I just knew you'd be my people. And we are just like you and I, for the most part, like we are in sync with our housewives takes. We are on the right side and the same side of history every single time. I was like, God, if I just needed another reason to love you, Oliver, that is it.
I know.
So we're sitting at the Four Seasons bar Thursday night, having a drink, and then all of a sudden, all the Bravo-lebs start flooding into the Four Seasons because this is where mostly all of them are staying, and that's where they're going to go at the end of the night when all the events are over. So this was kind of like getting later on in the evening. All like the black car service and the Sprinter vans were dropping people off at the Four Seasons. So I had a good view of the front door. And so like everybody starts walking in, and I'm like, oh, there's Portia and Cynthia. There's Phaedra. There's Stacy from Potomac. There's Aaron Leachy from, New York. And then all of a sudden, Jessi, a vision appears.
Light from the heavens beamed down.
The heavens opened up. Mary fucking Cosby walks in. Oliver could see it on my face because he was not looking at the door. And I said, oh my God. Oh my God. And I don't fangirl over a lot of people. I
Not
really
where you
don't.
will, like, outwardly, yeah, I guess,
Yeah. But like,
show it, yeah.
I love Mary Cosby. And I knew that he knew her. So I was like, your bestie just showed up. He's like, wait, who, Mary? I was like, yes. Because he was talking about how him and Mary know each other and whatever. And he was like, do you want me to introduce you? And I was like, oh my God, like,
Please.
please. And I said, I promise I won't embarrass you. So he brings me up to Mary Cosby. First of all, she sees him. She gives him the biggest hug and they're like kikiing or whatever. And he introduces me and she looks at me and she points at me and she goes, and I'm like, oh God, did I give a hot take on? I was like trying to
No,
recollect, like, did
never.
I say some shit? And
Right.
I'm like, no, absolutely
No.
not. I've never. And
Mhm.
she goes, you're that girl who keeps it real and is very direct on your videos. And I was like, yes. And then I was like, but I never been that way with you. She goes, oh, I know. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, thank God I've never talked shit on Mary Cosby. So I gave her a hug and I just told her all the things. I said, we love you. You are
Yes.
carrying that show on your shoulders. You are amongst a wonderful cast. But I just said, and her fashion was so fashionable.
Oh, yeah.
She had these aviators with orange lenses so you could see her eyes, but like, it was like, she had this long designer trench coat. I have no idea who the designer was. Oliver would know. But it was just, and it had like embellishments. And then she had these really chic black pants on. And like, you couldn't even see her shoes, even though I'm sure they were designer because her pants were like cover. She just was super chic, so pretty in person. Obviously pretty on camera, but like just like yours and my experience when we saw Tamara, like she's way prettier in person
Oh,
for
I
some
believe
reason.
it.
Like I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. So we had a really good interaction. That was amazing. Then my top 3 of housewives walked in, and that was Portia from Atlanta.
I know, I saw her on the,
Ugh.
awards ceremony. I was like, "Oh my god,
I
I just love
accosted
this."
her and Cynthia. I accosted them. I was like, and I was wearing like a really chic like look that day. It was the zebra dress with the
Oh, yes, I
belt, and I had
loved that,
the
yes,
leather
mhm.
like biker
With the
jacket over my
belt.
shoulders, but I wasn't really like wearing it. I just immediately put my arms out like to give them a hug. So the jacket went flying off. She's like, oh, I'm like, don't worry about it. So I gave them both a hug and I just told them, I said, girls, and this is kind of funny because later on Portia said something about this. I don't know if it was because of me, but I want to pretend it is. I met her and Cynthia and I was like, first off, there is no franchise, and I said no franchise that will ever measure up to Atlanta in its heyday with the OGs. And that includes the 2 of you, as
Mhm.
well as Nene and Phaedra. That's it,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
And and Portia was like, uh-huh. Like she was just like, yes. And I said, and listen, I will say Salt Lake City is a sort of kind of close second right now, but that's just right now.
But that's
But
just
you,
that's just what's going on,
that's
they're
it.
just, like,
It could
really
be
yeah, it
fleeting.
hasn't always been
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
But you ladies carried that show for years and made
Yes.
it good, made it great.
Season after season after
Season
season.
after
Yep.
season, and they were like, and Portia was really like, kinda gave a little attitude like, yeah, Salt Lake, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was
Yeah.
really cute, but she was cute about it. But then, like, the next day or the day after, I went to the Atlanta panel with Farai and Oliver, which, by the way, it was the best panel by far, and
Say
I'm not just
really
saying
quick,
that.
did you get to go to multiple panels, or this was the one panel
I
that you
went
went
to a
to?
few, but I really
Okay.
truly wasn't interested in going to BravoCon. Like, I
Right.
really wanted to just interact with people outside of BravoCon, like, if that
Right.
makes sense. I just
No,
wanted
I
to
know,
meet
yeah.
meet and hang out with other creators. I wanted to meet and talk to some housewives. Like, that's
Mhm,
what I wanted out of it. So, but I did go to a few panels. I went to
mhm,
Beverly Hills, Atlanta, the Valley, and, Beverly Hills was a snooze fest.
mhm.
Atlanta delivered,
Of
and I
course.
will
I
say,
know, I actually watched that one, yeah.
okay, Portia and Drew Sidora made that, and Drew, I'm
Yeah.
not, like, the biggest fan, I don't dislike her, but
Mhm.
she ate those girls up, like,
Yeah.
she ate those girls up,
Mhm.
and Portia was just so Portia, like, it just just the personality, the look, like, everything was giving, but then I saw a clip of Portia on a panel, and I don't think it was the one I went to 'cause I don't remember her saying this, but somebody brought up Salt Lake City, and she kinda, like, said similar to what I said, like, kinda like, "Yeah, they could be a close second, but second pla," you know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, "We're Atlanta," like,
Oh,
just
yeah.
something like that,
Yes.
and I was like, "Oh, that's kinda what I, like, said to her," like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
Salt Lake's getting a lot of love, and it's well deserved, but it's not
Mhm.
Atlanta." Like it's
Right.
not
No,
the OG
that's
Atlanta.
right.
So that was cool. So that was my Mary Cosby story. So leading up to BravoCon, I had been invited to a couple of events, and I want to
Mhm.
talk about one of them in particular because there was a little bit of drama. So I can't I'm not going to name a name right now because you know who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to name a name because I kind of
Okay.
shared a little bit about this story with
Mhm.
you only because I don't want to be a dick and I don't want this person to be dragged into something they don't want to be dragged into. But I'll give the full story.
Okay.
Somebody in the Bravo verse, okay, a Bravo leb, invited me to Margaret Josephs' VIP like soirée party that
Mhm.
she was having at BravoCon. I think it was on Thursday night. And this person's like, I really would, I'd like to invite you to this event. I was like, oh my God, I love Margaret. She just recently started following me and engaging with a lot of my content. I've been wanting to meet her. But I told this person afterward, I text them and I said, hey, I'm going to be with Chef Stu, around that time because he and I are going to Amy Phillips' comedy show. And Stu's the one that got me a ticket to Amy Phillips' show. And
Right.
we got to sit right in the front. So I wanted to return the favor. I'm not going to be an asshole and ditch him after he invites me to Amy Phillips' show and then go just not even tell him about Margaret's event. I'm going to try to get him an invite. So I asked this person who invited me, I said, hey, no worries if not, and zero pressure. I'm going to go to the soiree no matter what. But I'm also going to be with Chef Stu at that time. And I don't want to be a dick. Would it be okay if he came with me? If not, literally, no worries. I will fly solo. Gave all the outs in the world. This person's answer was like, yeah, just don't say that I invited him. And I was like, okay, fine. And I understood why and I
Mhm.
respected it. But I understood this person was kind of trying to just accommodate me. But, they said that and I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Like, not at all. But then this person had a little bit of a change of heart pretty quickly. But I had already invited Stu to the event. I texted him and I said, hey, I got an invite to Margaret's event. I would love for you to come with me. They said it's okay. He's like, great. I know Margaret. I've known Margaret since before I even ever dated Jeff. I'm like, okay, great. So fine. But then the person who invited me to Margaret's event had a change of heart and was like, you know what? Super uncomfortable. Like Jeff Lewis is a really good friend of mine. Just for context of people listening, in case you don't know, Jeff Lewis and Chef Stu used to date. It ended badly. Jeff
Mhm.
still continues to basically talk shit about Stu on his show to this day, or at least he says things about Stu and none of it's nice. None of it's
Mhm.
positive, I will
Right.
say. They just think whatever, and that's fine. Jeff can feel however he wants to feel. I totally get it. But this person's like, you know how Jeff feels about Stu, and I really love Jeff, and he's a good friend of mine, and I just don't want to cross that boundary. Like I don't want. So I was like, no worries, say less. I will tell Stu he shouldn't come. He can't come. I will tell
Mhm.
him like, no worries. Like, I don't even feel bad. Like, this is your thing. I can't overstep and just invite him. And when you're not
Right.
feeling comfortable, I don't want
Right.
to do that. So I texted Stu right away, told him, I said, here's what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, this is so dumb. He's like, I've known Margaret since way before I dated Jeff, but whatever. And I'm like, listen, you can't come like on my invite. Like I got invited by this person. They're not comfortable. So I have to respect that. And I'm going to respect that. But I did say, I was like, listen, you just said that you've known Margaret, since before Jeff. So if you want to DM Margaret
Mhm.
and just get an invite directly from her, then nobody can say anything. And I even
That's
told the
right.
person who invited me, I said, listen, I told Stu if he wants to DM Margaret and get a direct invite and all is good, like fine.
Mhm.
Well, the next thing you know, I'm driving out to Vegas on Thursday morning. I'm listening to Jeff Lewis live, which you were listening to too.
Yeah.
And I freak the fuck out when I hear Jeff bringing up Margaret's soiree and the fact that he goes, you guys aren't going to believe this. I got a phone call from Margaret Josephs today, panicking. She's saying, Jeff, Stu RSVP'd to my soiree. I don't know how he got the invite. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I didn't invite him, blah, blah, blah. And Jeff's like, yeah, Margaret was panicked. And, this grifter is inviting himself to events that he's not invited to. And somebody's like, well, who invited Stu to Margaret's event? And he's like, I don't know. Margaret didn't know. All of a sudden, she just got an RSVP that said Chef
Mhm.
Stu or Stuart O'Keefe. And so I'm like dying inside because I'm like, it was me. Like, it was me.
I texted you right away and I said like, bitch, they are talking about how he got this invite. And it's like, and they were calling the person a him too. They were like, I don't know who this guy is.
Yes. I'm like, it's not a him, it's me.
It's a girl.
I was
You know,
dying listening
so was
to
I.
it. But I didn't care. I think it's hilarious. Obviously, I don't care if people know that I invited him. Like, I live my life out loud. I could give a shit. You know what I mean? And I did the
And it
right
wasn't
thing.
for any kind of it wasn't with any kind of intention behind it. He didn't even know about, like, and he didn't even know about the event taking place. It wasn't like he was
No.
trying to get this plus one. It was just happened that
No,
you guys
and he
are
wasn't
gonna be hanging
desperate
out.
to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't desperate to go, but he wanted to go, and he knows Margaret apparently, like, before he even, like, was dated Jeff.
Mhm.
So, it was just this whole thing, and then once I, called Stu and I was like, "Dude, did you hear the radio?" He's like, "Yes." And I'm just like, "Listen," and he's like, "I'm not gonna go. Like, I just don't want the drama." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's best that you just don't go, whatever." But I did tell him, I said, "I'm gonna go. Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do my best to go. Let's
Mhm.
go to Amy Phillips' show." The 2 events kinda overlap. So I ended up leaving a little bit early from Amy Phillips' comedy show so I could jet over to where Margaret Josephs was having her event. I had to get in a cab, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah.
Where was
Like,
it? What
it
hotel
was
was
at the was it at Caesars? I'm there we went
it
to
probably
so
all
many.
blends together.
It all blends together, Jesse. It was at a bar inside a hotel. I think it was Caesars. I could be
Yeah.
wrong. When I got there, it was all roped off and there was a huge crowd of onlookers just watching the party go down, but they couldn't come in because it was like an exclusive, like invite only, whatever type thing. So I just cut my way through. I was like, whatever. If they give me any trouble, I'll just be a Karen and be like, hey, like Margaret, you invite. Oh,
Yeah.
another thing I left out is I wanted to make sure, even though me and Margaret are friendly on social media, she didn't invite me personally. So I wanted to make sure that I was good to go. So I DM'd her and said, hey, I got an invite from this person, but I just want to make sure because it didn't come directly from you. And I said,
Mhm.
I love you, and I'm so glad you, followed me recently. And she wrote back pretty quick. She's like, I adore you. Please come. And I was like, oh,
Great.
great. So then I felt good, like to go. I never even brought up Stu. I was like, I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole. Hell no. So I show up, the whole crowd. I felt confident enough. I just went through the ropes. I'm like, I was
Mhm.
invited, whatever. And right when I walk in, I see Heather McDonald, Brandy, and Julie. So, of course, I went right up to them, give them a big hug, hung out with them for a while, had a drink with them. I saw Ryan Bailey, gave him a hug because he and I used to be on the same podcast network. I've been
Mhm.
on his show before. We're friendly, and he was really sweet. Melissa Gorga, Joe Gorga was there. Lisa Barlow's husband was there. I want to say Seth was there too. I could be wrong. Patrick and Pole were there.
Yeah.
Oh, the Crappens guys were there, and I had a
Oh,
really good
yeah.
conversation with them. Ronnie was hilarious. Like I freaking love them. And they both said I was really pretty. So I was like, ooh,
Thank you.
it just hits different when it's like
I
you just
know.
love somebody. I'm like, oh my God, if they think I'm pretty, like this is
I
wonderful.
know.
So I was like, oh my God, I just like soaked it up. Anyway, love those guys. Had a really good conversation with them. They were super funny and great and engaging. They followed me on Instagram. So I was like, yay. Like, just like it was so
Mhm.
fun. And I just went right up to Margaret. She was taking pictures with people. And I was like, can I squeeze in? I'm like, I just want to give you a hug. I know you're busy. She's like, oh my God, you made it. And she complimented me and she just said, girl, you keep it so real on your content. I adore you. I love, and I said, listen, that's part of the reason I love you on the show as well,
Right.
is you don't take any shit and you
Mhm.
stand up for yourself, even against Teresa Giudice. Like you are just that girl. And I
Right.
adore you. You look beautiful. And then I let her go back to like her pictures. And then I was hanging out with Brandy and Julie and Heather's son. He's so sweet. And then Margaret came up to us afterward and gave us all like swag bags. And she and I took a picture and we talked again for like 2 seconds. And she was the sweetest thing ever. And she looks snatched. Margaret
Oh,
Josephs
really?
looks good. Like she looks so good. I mean, and everybody's smaller in person. And I'm not even talking skinny. Yes, they're all very thin and whatever, but she's just
Like
little,
shorter? Yeah.
little,
Yeah.
shorter, tiny. I just wanted to like pick her up and like she's so tiny. So that was really cool. Love that I got to do that. Also ahead of BravoCon, Tamra Judge had texted me or DM'd me and said, hey, the twats are having a suite at the Four Seasons to
Mhm.
like celebrate our downloads on our podcast or whatever. And she's like, I want to invite you. So like the day that you get to BravoCon, whenever you get checked into your hotel, text me and I'll send you the suite number. I'm like, cool, I'm there. And I sent the same message to her about Stu because I was like, again, I'm going to be with Stu at that time. So I don't mind going to things on my own, and I don't mind telling Stu like, hey, I got invited to this thing. You didn't get
Oh,
invited,
yeah.
whatever. Like I'm going to go. But he had invited me to things and we were just both returning the favor. I got invited to things that he didn't get a direct invite. He got invited to things that I didn't get a direct invite. And we were just like sharing the love. And I just want to be a good friend. I don't want to be a dick, but I also am like fine having the uncomfortable conversation of like, if they say no or don't respond, I'm not gonna like just bring a +1 without having
Right. No, I
permission.
mean, you're a grown ass woman at this point. This is
Girl, that's what
like
I'm saying.
we just need to, it's
Like, I'm a
all
really good friend. I'm a girl's girl, but I'm also
yes,
like,
and
I'll
you're
fly on my
honest.
own. Yes, I
Yes.
came to BravoCon to do my own thing as well.
To
So
network
anyway,
and to
yeah,
celebrate
but
everything, yes.
that's right, but, like, at the same time, Tamara and Stu were very friendly with each other at her watch party, as you saw.
That's
Like,
right.
she invited him to sit next to the couch on her, and they kikied, and they talked or whatever. So I was like, "I'm just gonna ask her, like, is it okay if I bring him?" But again, I gave her the out, and this time, I asked her if he could come, kinda sent the same message as I did this other person that invited me to Margaret's thing, but gave the out and was like, "I am cool flying, so I'll fly, or should I just fly solo? Like, it's all good, no pressure." Well, she didn't respond. So I hadn't told Stu about the event because I didn't wanna tell him and be like,
And
"Oh,
then
but
take
you're
it
not
back.
invited," or I didn't wanna tell him and invite him when I didn't get the okay. So I
Mhm.
just stayed quiet about it. I was just waiting for Tamara to respond. Then I heard Jeff Lewis Radio and them
Yes.
talking shit on the
And they
invite to
brought up
Margaret.
Tamara's watch party.
Yes, exactly. He brought up, but also the thing about Margaret's soirée, and he's already like
Mhm.
spicy with Stu, going to an event that he's supposedly not invited to, whatever. So then I texted Tamara, now realizing that it's kind of a thing that people who are loyal to Jeff and friends with Jeff don't want to maybe mess with Stu too much because they're afraid, or they just maybe not afraid, but like they don't want to cross pollinate and they don't want to like have drama with
Mhm.
Jeff, and they love Jeff, right? So I was on the road. I stopped at a Starbucks to go to the bathroom, get a coffee, and I sent a direct text to Tamara, and I said, "Listen, I listened to Jeff Lewis live. I don't remember what I said, but I'm like, he was a little spicy on Stu, whatever." I said, "So I know that I asked if Stu could go to your thing, but now that I've heard that, I'm just going to fly solo. No, I just want you to know, like, even though you didn't respond to me and say yes or no, I'm telling you that I'm not going to be bringing him because I don't want to put you in a weird situation if that's a
Mhm.
thing for you." And she responded right away and said, "Bring him." I was
Oh,
like, okay. And it also like just, I respect Tamara because she isn't afraid of people.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that this other person is afraid of Jeff. I'm just saying maybe some people are afraid of Jeff and don't want the drama and the smoke with him.
Mhm.
But then it also could just be an element of like, listen, I'm a good friend of Jeff's and I don't want to be a bad friend by being associated with Stu. Like, I get that too. But Tamara was like, bring him. I was like, okay, fine. So I extended the invite to Stu. So Stu and I both went to Tamara's twat suite. It was at the Four Seasons. I don't remember which day it was. It was the first day because I was
Thursday.
wearing my
Yeah, it's
zebra
Thursday.
outfit.
Yeah. Mhm.
So we walk in, Jesus Jugs is there, Eddie is there, Eddie Judge, Dr. Terry Dubrow was there, Heather Dubrow was there, Dolores Catania was there, Teddy was there, Vicky was there. It was just like a whole thing, right? It was just like so, and like Tamara's, I think her
But
glam,
it's in a suite, right? So
it's in
there's
a
not
suite.
that many people, and I was like, I mean, my whole social media, because I follow a lot of them, the whole thing, everybody's stories, everything was BravoCon. So I saw the day that I saw the suite, like, because 'cause you're like, "I'm
Yeah.
going to it." So I saw the suite, I saw who was already there.
Yeah.
So I didn't know when you were gonna come and then who was gonna be there, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, so it was, like, different people at different times. He and
Right.
I got there, like, maybe an hour and a half before they probably stopped doing the suite,
Mhm.
and we walked in, there was a little bit of alcohol, but there was also a bunch of her CBD and THC, like, gummies out,
Mhm.
and so that was cool. I didn't take Tamara was like, "You need to get some of my gummies," and I really wanted to for Steve because he loves gummies, but I didn't wanna carry it around all day because I had a small purse, we were gonna be out, no, so I just was like, "Oh, man, I'll pass on it." So hopefully I'll get some soon. Yeah, I'll just
Mhm.
maybe buy some because I heard that her gummies are really good.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially the sleep ones, right? That's what
Lights
the
out.
it's like so
Yeah, I
yeah.
keep
Mhm.
hearing with the lights out. So then I went right up to Tamara and she was talking to Teddy and I gave her a big hug and she was so freaking nice and sweet. And she's like, "Oh my God, you came." And she looked super hot, like super good. And she immediately introduced me to Teddy. And first off, so I think I gave Teddy a hug because I'm a hugger. I think I hug
Mhm.
everybody, even if they don't want, I don't know. I'm a hugger. was like, "Oh, hi," whatever. I felt comfortable. And then when I backed away, I was like, "You are stunning, Teddy. Like in person, like you always are, but like
Mhm.
you're stunning." And she truly was. Like I'm telling you, her eyes are like diamonds.
Oh,
Like they
wow.
sparkle. They're almost like a little creepy. They're so beautiful. Like they're just
Mhm.
very sparkly blue. Her hair looks really freaking cool.
I
She's
love it right now.
but
I
that's it.
honestly I love it.
It's like a little bit of grow out. It has like blonde
Mhm.
tips. It
I love
looks
the bleach. Yes.
so chic. It's so good on her. But I will say she was very icy toward me.
Mhm.
She was very like, didn't want to engage. Like, so I gave her a hug, complimented her, and she was just like, let me just try to she was kind of like, and she just walked away.
Oh,
Didn't wanna oh, and Tamara was really nice. She goes, this is Jami. She's a podcaster, but a really good podcaster." Like, it was like not she's
yeah.
being nice. But Teddy was having none of it, and here's the thing, I just have to keep it real about my experiences. I'm not gonna, like,
Right.
hold back. I've never said anything negative about Teddy other than, like, I don't think she was a great housewife, it just sh I don't think that that's the show for her. Could I see her
Mhm.
on something else? Sure, and I've always thought she's beautiful. I also stood up for her a little bit when I didn't like when Erica Jane was mean to her. I thought it was just
Right.
too overboard. That
Mhm.
made me uncomfortable. But it wasn't anything like that. It was just, listen, I'm willing to if I'm ever in the same room as Teddy again, I won't judge her based on my first experience. I
Yeah.
will chalk it up to perhaps it was just the wrong moment. Perhaps she was
Mhm.
overwhelmed. Perhaps she's also going through a fucking lot in life right now
Right,
with her
right,
health and her
right.
personal. So I'm not trying to be shady. I'm just saying she just wasn't really fucking with me, and that's
She isn't gonna
totally
go out of her way to yeah, and that's
no,
okay.
no. That's
Yeah.
fine. Totally
Yeah.
fine. I was there to see Tamara, and that's what I wanted. Right when we walked in, though, Heather Dubrow cornered Chef Stu and was just really wanting to get some stuff off her chest.
Oh.
Now, I happened to I know what she said, and it was about drama on the show, particularly with Katie. And I won't say exactly, what she said. And also, I wasn't in the conversation, so if I repeated it, it's just secondhand information. But I do know the gist of what she was trying to convey to Stu. And
Mhm.
so it was just very like interesting, So they were caught up in conversation for a while. While they were talking, I was off to the side and had like a 5-10 minute conversation with Dr. Dubrow. He was lovely. I mean, the
Do you think he
night
knew had
no,
any idea who you were? Oh,
absolutely not because and I
okay,
believe
good.
him when he says this. Exactly. I'm like, "Okay, good," because I'm not a fan of your wife. I mean, but I was
Yeah.
like, "Listen, I have to own my shit." Like, I have to
No, I know,
own
and I know you're
but
going
it's
to, but
also
I was
uncomfortable.
even like I saw her in the suite, and I was like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wonder if there's gonna be
Oh,
an
she
interaction. I
saw
just
me.
I
She
know,
saw
but
me, and she didn't say hi, but I didn't say hi, but here's the thing. Here's my policy, and this is what I said to you going into BravoCon. There are housewives I don't favor, and some I downright do not like, and there are others that I do like, and I've been making videos about all of it. I will not be fake. I will not go up to a housewife that I don't fuck with and pretend that I'm a fan or just to get a picture. I won't do that.
Mhm.
But I will also, if they engage with me or if there's a moment, like I will definitely say hi. Nice to see you. If they look beautiful, I'll be like, God, you're beautiful. All those things can be true at the same time, but I'm not going to be like, oh my God, Heather Dubrow, let's take a picture. Like I'm a big fan. I'm not going to do that. And I
No.
didn't do that. And I also
Mhm.
didn't do that with Jesus Jug. She was in the suite. It's not
Right.
that I don't, I'm softening up on her a little bit. I think she's mostly harmless.
Mhm.
And I do like some of her takes because I did listen to a few Two T's in the Pods episodes. I do like some of her takes, and I think that she's trying to be fair and see both sides of things. So I appreciate that about her. But I didn't want to be fake and be, because I didn't love her comeback on OC, and
Right.
that everybody
Mhm.
knows I've made my videos about it. But I engaged with Dr. Dubrow, and he's great. And the reason why I know he doesn't know who I am is, and because he told me this, he says my strategy, Jami, is that I don't watch the show and I don't watch any content because then I
Yeah.
can walk into a room and I can get along with everybody.
Yeah,
If you
ignorance is bliss,
That's what
like,
he
you
said. He
don't
goes, if somebody
yes.
yeah, somebody talks shit about my wife, I don't even know. So I just keep it moving. You know what I mean? And I'm
There
like,
you go.
that's a
That's
great
how you do
strategy.
it.
That's how you do it. So that was fun. Dolores Catania was beautiful
Oh,
and
I know, yeah.
very nice. And I did tell her, I said, congratulations. I did hear on Jeff Lewis that you got engaged. I'm like, can I see your ring? Everybody's talking about it. She's like, oh yeah. So she shows me her ring. It's gorgeous. It's big. It's gorgeous.
Mhm, mhm.
All the things. And then I won't say who, but somebody brought up Kelly Dodd. And we were in a little group, and they were like, "Oh yeah, so you're not going to believe this. Kelly Dodd's talking shit about Dolores's ring." And everybody's like, "Who gives a fuck about Kelly Dodd?" That's basically the sentiment. And Dolores's response was very Dolores, and she was like, "You know what?" In her accent, she's like, "You know what?" She's like, why do I need to talk about why do I need to respond to Kelly Dodd of all people?
Mhm.
Why do I she goes,
Right.
"I need to say nothing. Nothing." And it was almost like she's like, "It's fucking beneath me." She didn't say
Yeah.
that, but it's like, this shit's beneath who I give a fuck. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, so that was actually really funny. And it's very I haven't heard any clips of Kelly Dodd making fun of her ring or talking shit, or I don't know if she was saying that it's like a lab diamond or whatever. It's so Kelly Dodd of her, if that is true. Like, that's
Right.
really funny. So that was a moment. And then as we were gonna leave, Vicky Gunvalson walks in. And when I gave Tamara a hug, she did say that Vicky was coming, and she goes, "We've made up." And I said, "I love that. Like, I
Mhm.
love that. Vicky's not my favorite housewife." I did tell her that. I said, "Listen, I love that, and I don't want you guys to fight, and I think you guys are really fun together and cute and funny." She's not my favorite housewife, but, and also Tamra has had a bad couple of seasons, in my opinion. I think that I liked her a lot more this season. What I told Katie, and I would tell Tamra this too, is that I want the fun Tamra to come back. I feel like she's going through a lot. She's angry, and she borderlines on really being really mean with people and nasty. And sometimes it's just not warranted, that level. And so that's how I feel about Tamara. But do I like Tamara? I've always liked Tamara as a housewife. And now that I've interacted with her a little bit in person, I really like her. I like her. She's fun. She's funny. I like that she's, is not afraid of anybody. She says it like it is. Sometimes, yes. Does she do too much? Yes, I think she does. But I also know that I think she feels a duty to carry the weight of that show on her shoulders, because she is known for driving storylines and carrying that show. She really is. Every time Tamara is on The Housewives, lover or hater or somewhere in between, she's a main part of the storyline. She always is. And she will bring up the things on camera to get another storyline going. So, like, she is a
She's like
pro
it's a
housewife.
professional. I mean, and they
She
even
is.
on the awards ceremony that they had, which was, by the way, hilarious and such a like he said, it's like a love letter to the fans. It really was. Like
Oh
all
my
the
gosh.
awards. I don't know if you even watched it or
I
you were
didn't.
part of it. Oh,
I
it's
didn't.
just the awards they gave out were hilarious. Like, the argument that, Angie and Mary had about her farting won an
Oh my god.
award.
Oh my
So,
god,
but
okay,
this
that's
was, like, for
amazing.
the fans, like, it just was I watched the entire time with, like, a smile on my face, but anyways, he was saying that she and Kyle are the longest running housewives. They have the most seasons under their belts.
Yeah,
It's Tamra and Kyle.
yeah,
And so there's a lot to be said about that, and
there is.
and I think she knows how to make the show, at least keep its head above water.
She does, and so, yeah, I mean, Tamara, I think, is in a different phase in her life. She's going through some things, and does she have a lot of conflict with a lot of people? Yes, she does. Does she make a great housewife? Yes, she does. Does she go too far sometimes? Yes, she does. Does she struggle to take full accountability sometimes? Yes, she does. Is she witty and giving iconic moments and also not allowing people to fuck with her? Yes,
Mhm,
she is. So
mhm,
she's all those things. All those things can be true at the same time. And you and I've talked about this before. I kind of put Jeff Lewis in a similar bucket.
mhm.
Jeff Lewis is kind of scary to some people.
Yeah.
He can be a bit toxic, he can be a bit mean, he can be, he's lost a lot of friendships and, but Jeff is also endearing,
Mhm,
giving, funny as hell, real and authentic. That's another thing about Tamara, authentic. She is authentically herself, and I have to give her that, because we
mhm,
got Meredith over here not giving a fucking shit about giving up any details about her life. Like,
mhm.
I've got to think of another one, but just very, very fakey, inauthentic. Oh, Dorit.
Yeah.
Dorit faked it to make it on that show, and then her house is in pre-foreclosure. She's wearing
Mhm.
all these fucking designer clothes and acting like she's got it like that. And Boy George is making them rich. I don't fucking know what, like, but it's like, but she's in pre-foreclosure. So you're inauthentic. You're
Mhm.
not real. You're not giving us the real, but Tamara is real, and Jeff as well. And I appreciate that. And they're both successful entrepreneurs. Like, there's
Mhm.
just things you have to give certain housewives credit for, even if you
Yes.
don't agree every time with what they do and what they say. I would say right now, I'm going to think of others. Right now, the two housewives that I absolutely cannot stand and will say nothing nice about, that would be Emily Simpson and Gretchen Rossi. I will
Mhm.
not. To me, they are trash people inside their heart. Like and Gretchen does a decent job of sort of covering it up better than
Mhm.
Emily and making
Yes.
people think that she's innocent. I'm just,
She's a little quieter, softer, like, in
yeah,
her
I'm a Christian
response and
woman,
approach.
blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Fuck off. You are a total hypocrite. You're an asshole. You're a homophobe, in my opinion. Like, you're all those things. And I don't fuck with her. And
Mhm.
same with Emily. And by the way, I did see Emily, and
Okay, I
shame.
was gonna ask you, was waiting for a pause. I'm gonna say, did you cross paths with
Girl, yes, I
Emily?
did. And the way that I walked so fucking fast by them, so fast, I could not give a fuck. I saw them one time at the Four Seasons and I walked right on by. And I was almost like, this sounds really like mean, but it's like, I almost wish she saw me because she's
Mhm.
such an asshole. She even doubled down and said some stupid shit on a interview carpet, whatever. I don't know who it was
Mhm.
with at BravoCon. I saw a clip of it. I'm like, this bitch doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. And she's doubling down in her hatred and her just she's I think she's a liar. I think she's an asshole. I do. And Gina, I'm sorry, I don't fuck with Gina either. I just dislike her less than Emily and Gretchen, but I would like her off the screen too. She never
Mhm.
made sense anyway. And I did see Gina and whatever real quick, but I didn't fuck with her. I ran into Ashley Darby, told her she was hot. She's like, ooh, and I gave her a hug. Ran into Heather Gay. She's tiny in person. This is funny. So Lisa Barlow, I have, many thoughts and opinions on Lisa
Mhm.
Barlow, but that first night that we were at the Four Seasons, the same night that I met Mary Cosby and all the other, like we were all in the same room,
Mhm.
Lisa Barlow comes walking in. So walking into the Four Seasons, there's a set of glass doors and then there's a breezeway and then another set of glass doors that leads you into the lobby bar. While everybody else in that room, and I'm talking, there was probably 200 people in the same room, Bravo Lebs, fans, produce makeup people, like just tons of people. Everybody was inside the lobby bar and the right inside the doorway, like in the Four Seasons. Not Lisa Barlow. Lisa Barlow never stepped foot inside because she was crashing out in the corner with my friend. I'm not going to say who it was. And this
Mhm.
person is friends with Lisa, like true friends with Lisa Barlow. And they can talk about it on their channel, but I just
Right.
don't know if it, whatever.
Mhm.
In It was like a full-blown crash out, in my opinion. Like, she was using hands and she was just like upset and she was just like, she was just like venting, but she wasn't enjoying herself. Everybody was so happy and picture taking
Mhm.
and laughs and drinks and cheers and whatever. And then there's Lisa Barlow crashing out with my friend. I will say it's a content creator. And when I asked my friend, what was that all about? They said that it was a couple of things. She's not happy. She thinks the edit that she's getting on the show is not good.
It's not.
It's
I
not
don't
the
know if
edit
it's so much
that
an
it's
edit.
you. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Like, and then also like she was afraid that people were gonna boo her the next day at certain events.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
understand that.
Yeah.
That made me sad.
Yeah.
And here's what I will say about Lisa Barlow. Look, in real life, we could probably never be friends. I think she is the most self absorbed and unaccountable housewife that we've seen in a long time. And I also think, much like I do Dorit, I have to say it, and I've said it before, I don't think she's being authentic about her wealth, her
No, right.
lifestyle. I think there's
Mhm.
some, and I understand and have empathy for anybody who goes on these shows. I understand there's a lot of pressure to put
Yeah.
on and make it,
Mhm.
compete with these other women who have real money. Like, I get that. So those are the things I feel about Lisa Barlow. However, I think she's beautiful. I think she's funny as fuck on the show. I think she really helps make that show. And I don't want her to leave. I don't
Mhm.
dislike her. I don't hate Lisa Barlow. Okay.
Mhm.
I hate Gretchen Rossi and Emily Simpson. And I know that's a strong word, but I feel like I am well within my whatever you want to call it. Like, they deserve that from me. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. They've just not given me any reason to think they're good people. I don't think that about Lisa Barlow. I actually like Lisa Barlow on the show. I think she's probably so endearing and funny in person. But the other things I said, that's what I also feel about her.
Right.
And I know
Yeah.
people who are friends with her. My friend Nikki LaRose does her makeup. Like she's been doing it for a long time and it's stunning. Like my friend Nikki rocks it and she is so fucking good at what she does.
Oh,
She
yeah.
always makes Lisa Barlow look absolutely like chic and stunning and amazing. But that's how I feel about Lisa Barlow. But it
Yeah,
was
I mean,
just
I
kind
feel
of
like
funny.
she goes I think she's going through it, and I think there's maybe a lack of self-awareness and everything, and maybe that'll come, but I feel bad that she's I don't know, maybe yeah, she's like she seems like she's got hurt feelings, you know, and I feel
Yes,
bad for anybody who
of
has that.
course.
I even
I do
sent you
too.
a TikTok because there was somebody interviewed her, and this was so niche, but it's just her singing, like, the
Oh my
first
God.
verse of a Fiona Apple
I
song, which
saw
is
it.
one of my favorite songs, and I literally, in that moment, it's like the Grinch, my heart grew for Lisa, like,
Yes.
because it was like, "Oh, you picked that song?" It was such a like, and I it was like, "Who could I" of course, I shared it with you, but it's like, I love that song so much, and I was like, "Oh, that's her taste in music too?" Like, I
It made
said,
you
"I'm
love
having
her.
complicated feelings about Lisa. I
Well,
love
you
that
know
she
what,
sang this
Jessi?
song."
That is okay. And you know what? I'm having complicated feelings about these housewives too, because it's very easy for me to get worked up and get big feelings about them and go and make my videos that are spicy. And I just say how I feel. You meet them and you're like, you know what? I kind of love you. Like I kind of
Yes,
love something, and I'm having
yes,
complicated feelings, but 2, 3, 4 things can be true at the same time. Mary
totally.
Cosby was not my favorite housewife the first
No,
couple
I remember
seasons.
our first season with her, we were like, "I don't
I was
know,
like,
I just
"Wow,
kinda
she's
yeah,
kinda
what's going
mean
on here?"
sometimes and this and that." But I love her now.
I
Love
know.
her. And so I will always be true and real about how I feel. And it was kind of funny. We ran into Lisa Barlow and her team. Nikki was there with her as well,
Mhm.
my friend makeup artist. We were walking down the hall leaving the VIP area and here comes Lisa Barlow and there's a huge crowd. There's like security. She's holding her own selfie light when she walks out of the door because she does not want to be caught on anybody's camera
She's
without
holding it or
She's
somebody else is
holding it.
holding it?
That's her strategy. I have a video of it. I have a video of Lisa Barlow. She was the only housewife there that walked around with a selfie light turned on, shined in her face. Wherever she walked, there was a selfie light in front of her face. It's
Oh
kind
my
of
gosh. It's
genius,
like
like, if you
Mariah
think about
Carey. Yeah,
it.
no.
Very Mariah Carey. So we ran into her, and my friend, who's a creator, who's also friends with Lisa Barlow, gave her a hug. And then right after that moment, and I filmed it, Oliver and Farai are also friendly with Lisa Barlow.
Mhm,
While she was walking further down the way, she ran into Oliver and Farai, who were with us, but they were a little bit behind us.
mhm.
She sees them, she grabs them, and she goes, "They're with me, they're with me." And she rushed them back to like the VIP or like backstage area, whatever. And they got to hang out with her for a while. And
Oh,
she was like,
awesome.
and one of them, I don't know if it was Farai or Oliver, but one of them brought me up and talked about my content. And they were like, listen, Jamie's our friend. We think, maybe you've seen her content or whatever. And Farai was like, listen, I'm an equal opportunity hater. Like if I had, you know what I mean? And Farai
Yeah,
is like very real. His content similar to mine, different, but similar. Like he
uh-huh.
gives his takes and he doesn't care. He's unfiltered. Like he just says it and his opinions change and sometimes they stay the same. But he just told Lisa, like, listen, like you would probably really like Jamie. And she goes, oh, well, I mean, I would love to meet her. And it was like, so I was like, okay, listen.
But we know she's seen your content
Oh,
though,
yes, absolutely. Because she's been
and
in
she
my
commented on
comments.
it. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
But sh so
Um,
that you don't think that she didn't know who they were talking about then,
I don't know
right?
it. She
Oh.
might or she might
Oh,
not have.
okay.
So I don't actually know. So that was kind of
Okay.
like funny. I was like, "Oh my god, you guys brought me up. That's hilarious."
Yeah.
One of the night so at the end of every night, basically we would hang out with Matt Janella and Katie Janella
Mhm.
at like this bar that's at the Four Seasons or maybe it's at the Mandalay. I think Mandalay is kind of connected to the Four Seasons, but anyway, it was a quieter bar. There were still like Bravo Lebs. That's where I saw Tom
Mhm.
Sandoval, Brittany, Kristen Doty. I saw that chef who was in a relationship or messed around with Kate Chastain for a while, Chef Ben
Mhm.
from Below Deck. Like there
Right.
were Bravo celebrities there too, but it was just It was better than the main Four Seasons bar because you wouldn't be able to get a drink at a certain point. Like it was just, well,
Okay.
it was understaffed. It was
Too
crazy.
much, yeah. Mhm.
So at the end of each night, that was like our little respite. We would meet up with Katie and Matt and we would just like debrief and take our shoes off, hang out at this bar. And then we hung out with Tamra's glam team and her assistant, Caden. He's been her assistant since like 2021. Really, really sweet guy. It was also his birthday. So we hung out with them. That was cool. Mary Cosby happened to walk by at one moment, which was kind of funny. Tom Sandoval, one night we saw him, and I think it was like my last night there. He's Tom Sandoval.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think
he was just
I
like
can't
floating.
imagine him. I was like, scared of what you're gonna say right now, like, you're like,
Like,
"Are
listen,
really?"
I cannot know what is inside of anybody's system at any moment.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I could just surmise that maybe he there was something enhancing. I don't know. Maybe not.
Oh,
Maybe this is just him.
yeah.
Maybe this, but he was just like floating around the bar and he had his like cinched waist, like pants. They look like Z Cavariccis, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and he had the hair down, like to the side, like, you know, the bangs, like, you know, and at one moment, Katie's like, he's trying to be fucking Johnny Depp. He's trying to be Johnny Depp. And I'm like, yeah, kind of. And I'm like, not trying to be mean or whatever, but we just
Right, but
watched him
nobody
all
loves
night.
themselves more than Tom Sandoval loves
I
himself.
know. And
That's why I
that's,
feel like he just displays it. He loves himself. We all
yeah,
don't get, what he
that's it.
puts out. Yeah, we're not picking up what he's putting down all the time,
No, no, no,
but
no, but he's
I
picking
don't
up
know if he cares.
what he's
Yeah.
putting down, you know? But just so at least there's somebody. And he was like making out with a girl in the weirdest way. I assume it's his
Yes,
girl.
it's his girlfriend, right? His
Don't know what his
girlfriend.
girlfriend looks like, so I can't assume, but
Oh, she has, like,
I
long brown hair.
yeah, yes, that tracks. So that
Okay.
was probably I assumed it was his girlfriend, but I can't like
Mhm.
say for I don't know who his girlfriend is. But he like came up behind her and she was sitting in a chair and he's standing over her, but behind her. So she has to like put her head up toward the ceiling and he's kissing her upside down and like, I was just like, oh, it was just like a lot. It was a lot. And then who else? I met Captain Jason from Below Deck, gave him a hug.
I mean, I'm
What
sure you saw, like, just so many people. I
Yes,
mean
I met Jeff Lewis. So I've
oh,
met Jeff
yes,
Lewis
right,
once
yes.
before, but I met him again.
Mhm,
His black car had just pulled up to the Four Seasons. He was just like gonna check in, right?
mhm.
So out pops Shane and Monroe. He had Monroe with him.
Oh,
And admittedly, I was with Chef Stu at this time. We were walking out of the Four Seasons. I didn't see Jeff right away, but Stu saw him. And I didn't
mhm.
know this, but Stu immediately bolted and like went and hid behind like a pillar. So because he just didn't want to run into Jeff. He didn't
No,
want to
yeah,
like have weird moments, whatever.
a lot of us don't wanna run into our
Mm,
exes, to be
that's what I
honest. It's
exactly I
yeah,
understand
yeah,
it, yeah,
yeah.
but I think that Shane clocked it and saw both of us, so I didn't wanna be weird, and I also love Jeff,
I
and so
know.
I went right up to him and I said, "Hey, Jeff," I said, "I've met you one time before, you probably don't remember. Love you, love your show," and he's like, "Oh," and he was smiling, he was so sweet, he goes, "This is Monroe," and I said, "Sweetie, you look so fabulous, and I'm so glad you have your expensive bag and your Labubu with you," and she was just, like,
Yeah,
super she was adorable and
yeah,
fabulous, like
yeah.
everything you would expect and more. I didn't have time to say hi to Shane because I didn't wanna be annoying, I didn't wanna ask for a picture, he's with his daughter, he's trying to
Mhm.
get out of his car and check into this, like, a hotel, so I was just, like, real brief, so that was that. Speaking of Jeff Lewis, he said a couple things at BravoCon that have been picked up and people know about now. The
Uh-huh.
2 things that where he kinda stepped in it, he got into a little bit of trouble with Andy and then got into a
Mhm.
little bit of a trouble with, like, the audience. He made a comment about Monica Garcia, the former Salt
Right.
Lake City housewife, and was like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't even know why she was cast, like, I'm
It
sorry,
was, like,
we
in reference to because I saw this, and it's
affluence,
in reference to, like, where how asking Andy, like, "Where have we gone away from the casting the, like, wealthy
affluence."
housewives?"
Yes,
Yeah.
like, "Where are we going? Why was she cast?" And he was just like, "Listen, and I don't know, aren't her SNAP benefits about to expire?"
Mhm.
Or run out or something, and it just didn't
Fell
land.
flat.
It
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
and Andy and even Jeff has said this on a show, Andy was pissed because, obviously with everything going on in this current environment, like,
Mhm.
there are not to, bring it down, but this is reality, like, there are people Their reality is that they are panicking right now
Yeah,
because
they're
they
struggling.
rely on that,
Yes.
and so I understand that it was too much,
Yeah.
Jeff on his show this morning, I was listening, and he was kind of defending himself and saying he was disappointed in Andy and that he thought that, like, "You guys know who I am. Like, you know who I am, and you still keep inviting me to these things, and clearly you want somebody like Jerry O'Connell maybe to just be a little
Mhm.
softer, a little, not say the things that I say, whatever." So that was that. And then he also was on another panel, and an audience member was like, "Can you say 3 nice things about Dorit?" Because, like me, Jeff doesn't really favor Dorit. And he said, "She's gorgeous." He said something else. And then he's like, "Oh, I don't know. Let me think." Like, good mom? No. Personality? No. So he basically said she was a bad mom, and that's not cool. So
Mhm.
the audience also was like, like, that's just
Yeah.
not, you know, I I understand if somebody, and I wouldn't say this, maybe I have, but I don't fully mean it. Like, Brittany Bateman has some work to do with her kids, okay? We've
Mhm.
seen that play out on the show, and I don't respect the way that she's, put men before her kids and all that. But, like, to say that about Dorit, and I'm not a Dorit fan, like, in the slightest, but she's a good mom. Like,
Mhm.
that was not the comment to make,
Right.
so that was that. I also had heard a couple things. Okay, so Sheena Shea apparently got into a fight and or like a heated argument with somebody, and it was somebody from another Bravo show. With some people were speculating maybe it's Sally from Southern Charm. I don't
Mhm.
know who it was. So I'm literally just throwing names at the wind. I don't know. But I do think it's been confirmed. I think that Sheena got into it with somebody. So I don't know who that was. Maybe it's out now, but I just haven't had a chance to catch up. Then there was some drama with Erica Jane too, because Erica Jane was on a panel and somebody asked something, and I wasn't there, something like, who are 2 housewives, one you would like to see return and one you would like to see not return? And I think she quickly said Garcelle, like, don't want to see
Mhm.
her return.
Mhm.
And people didn't like that. And I think this is the comment that sparked an audience member and her to go at it. So what I heard, and this is not confirmed, this is hearsay. I wasn't there. I haven't caught up on all the things. I haven't asked around to anybody to see what happened. But I had heard from another content creator that Erica had gotten into it with an audience member and ended up leaving the stage. So I don't know if that's true, if some of it's true, if none of it's true, but that's what I heard. So I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to, like, catching up on that. What is the drama there? And, the Beverly Hills Housewives panel was a snooze fest. These
Yeah.
women
Oh,
think,
yeah.
here was I think it was Farai that made this comment, and I think he clocked it pretty good. Like, I was like, I said, they're just boring compared to, like, Atlanta. He's like, well, I don't know if it's that they're boring. He's like, they think they're above it all. They just think
Mhm.
they don't have to perform. They think they don't have to give anything because they're Beverly Hills and they have the money and the wealth. But he's like, and I'm like, but they're wrong. But they're wrong, because just because you have
Mhm.
money, that's not enough to make a good show.
Oh,
And
no.
hand over fist, Salt Lake City and Atlanta are both way better than
Oh,
Beverly
yes.
Hills and have been for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And Beverly Hills arguably has way more money than those 2 franchises alone.
Mhm.
But they're not, money doesn't make you, money that can buy your
Oh, your
class,
class.
can't buy your personality. Um, so yeah, their panel was a snooze fest. I will say Rachel Zoe looked chic as fuck.
Oh,
She looked,
honestly, I do love her style. I've
yeah,
always
same,
loved it.
same.
Yeah, it's kind of always it's been similar. I don't It's not much change. It's just like a little bit updating, but I loved it. I loved her jewelry that she was wearing. I
Oh,
loved her looks that she was serving. I loved it.
she was absolutely one of the best dressed there, if not
Mhm.
the best. Carol Radziwill, I saw her the
Mhm.
first night at the Four Seasons. Not sure why she was there, but obviously, but I was so glad. And but basically, she was wearing a really cool outfit. She had like a bangs situation, kind of split down the middle.
Mhm.
She was very, like, muted. She was wearing like almost like a men's tuxedo, but without a jacket. And the bow tie was undone. It was just hanging, like she'd had a
Oh, yeah.
long night and just
Mhm.
untied it or
Mhm.
whatever. She looked really chic. She's just cool. So she
Yeah.
looked cool. Like, she just looked
Mhm.
chic.
Any of, like, the old like, the not the reboot New York besides, like, was Psy there
Was
or,
there, but I didn't see her in person, but I know
Mhm.
she was there. I saw Erin. I didn't see Jessel, but I know she was there.
Mhm.
Sonia Morgan was there, and
I know.
she looked a
I know.
mess. She looked a
Yeah.
mess. Dorinda
I know.
Medley was there. I was supposed to go to her dry bar event where she was DJing and people were getting like blowouts, but it was
Mhm.
too early in the morning. I'm like, no, this is too early. So I didn't go to that. Katie. Oh, yes. So Katie, when one night when we were hanging out with Katie and Matt, she was like, we just got back from a dinner that was so cool. It was hosted by Gertie from Miami. I saw Alexia,
Mhm.
Gertie, Adriana was there. Anyway, Gertie had hosted a dinner and specifically handpicked basically like the outcasts from different franchises of Bravo
Oh.
shows and wanted to have a dinner specifically with them because they all had similar experiences on the show where they kind of got iced out. And
Mhm.
so, as I recall, it was Katie Janela was invited, Leva from Southern Charm was invited, Jen Fessler was invited. She was
Mhm.
formerly on Jersey. I'm missing a couple people. I saw the photo. Anyway, I'm sure it's out there. You could look it up. But I thought that was
Yeah.
kind of cool. And Matt and Katie had nothing but because of course, nothing but great things to say about Gertie. And I'm like, yeah, because Gertie's
Oh,
that
yeah.
bitch. Gertie's so fucking sweet
Oh my
and
god, yeah. She was
beautiful.
so funny. I think she actually had a moment with Oliver because
She did.
Oliver, he got to do, like, what do they call it?
Yes,
The blue
he did like a
carpet? Or what
press
do they
like a
call it?
he was on the carpet. I
The
forgot. He
carpet,
told
and
me
then,
he was
he
gonna
got
do
to be
that.
one of the interviewers, but he had these teeny tiny little microphones, and she's like, "My eeny weeny, teeny weeny
Did
little mic." Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
it was
so funny. I loved
he
her.
has so much personality. Like, I love Gertie. I love Gertie, and I think
Yeah.
she's beautiful, and I love her husband and just, oh, here's some tea that I
Okay,
forgot.
yes.
Baby, this is some tea. Okay. Hold on, let me crack my neck. Okay. Crack my fingernails or my knuckles, yeah.
Oh, your knuckles.
Okay. So, we had been texting with Matt to meet up with him and Katie, and
Mhm.
we got a text that's like, "Okay, meet me here," whatever. So, me and Stu are walking through the Four Seasons, and we end up running into Matt randomly, not at the place we were gonna meet him at, but just, like, wherever, just whatever, near an elevator or something. And who do we see cornering him and talking to him very intensely? It was Ryan, Jen
Oh.
Pedronti's fiancé, which,
Mhm.
as you know, they're not
Right.
really talking like
No.
they're not. So we were like, this is weird. And so we kept shooting Matt looks like, are you okay? Do you need us to bail
Mhm.
you out? Like, what is going on? We let them finish talking. When they're done talking, Ryan was face to face with me. So I had no choice to just be like, "Hi, I'm Jami. Nice to meet you." And I will say Ryan was very engaging. Hi, hey, nice to meet you. Like, da 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 da. So then Jen Pedronti comes walking up and she's like coming to get Ryan. And I was icy toward her because I'm like, again, I'm not going to be fake. If she was really close and I just kind of had to, I would have put my hand
Mhm.
out and been like, "Hi, I'm Jami. Nice to meet you."
Right,
Because
right.
there's nothing
Yes.
wrong with that. I don't really favor her on the show. She's pissing me
Mhm.
off, whatever. But you know what pissed me off the most? This triggers me actually. I'm actually very triggered by. Let me tell you what I'm most triggered by at BravoCon. Jen Pedronti's walking around the Four fucking Seasons, okay? Everybody's there. The fashion is fashioning. Like, you bring your A game to this thing.
Mhm.
She was wearing Lululemon's tennis shoes and a fucking cropped jean jacket. Lululemons at the Four Seasons at BravoCon. I just was like, I think I get triggered by women that still exist. Like, it's not a thing anymore. Like, stop thinking that's an outfit. But like, if you want to,
Mhm.
fine. You're not at Trader Joe's. If you're at Trader Joe's, I could
Right.
give a shit. What? Who
Mhm.
knows? What I wear my Crocs and my sweats. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But we are at BravoCon, babe. Like,
Right.
get out of the OC. Like, I'm surprised she didn't have a fucking trucker hat on too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Oh,
it
yeah. Yeah.
just was like so disappointing and like, girl, like, come on. So anyway, I didn't say hi to her. We kind of shot her a look and it was a little awkward, but like it was awkward that Ryan unexpectedly went up to Matt Janella for any
Yeah.
reason because they're not talking. Jen and all of them have not apologized to Katie and have not reached out, nothing. But here's Ryan cornering Matt Janella at BravoCon unexpectedly. And essentially, the gist of the conversation was he was trying to bro it up and be like, bro, like, are we good? Like, we can talk. Like, I don't know what he was saying. Like, I'm making up words, but the
Mhm.
gist of it was like, dude, like, we're good, right? Like, I don't have any issues, something like that, you know?
Okay.
And it's
Uh-huh.
just wild to me because it's like, you guys need to address Katie. Katie,
Right.
before you go to Matt, Your fiance Jen and the other girls need to go to Katie and make that right before you go and corner Matt Janella and try to bro it up with him and sidestep Katie, basically. Like, fuck off. I don't know. I just thought it was just like really a weird way to move. You know what I
Right.
mean? It was interesting that we caught it. And I was like, Matt, was that planned? He's like, no. He's like, no, like that was not, no, like I did not expect that. So that was like some tea. Like that was kind of interesting. So that was a little weird. Then, and then I got pissed off when I got home. Oh, the other thing that triggers me about BravoCon is I don't know when, but it was a few years ago. It became a thing for hotels, and I'm talking even nice hotels, to not have a fucking coffee maker in the room.
Oh, I know. I know. We're actually going there. We're going there the week of Thanksgiving. And I canceled a hotel and I found another hotel that has like a kitchen with a coffee maker because I'm just
Literally the worst
cannot.
thing.
Yeah. No, because then you have to order everything or you have to go down to the lobby or find
I'm not going down to the lobby.
No.
Like I'm not. I
No.
don't want to brush
No,
my teeth before I
Vegas
have
is on like
coffee.
everybody's shit list right now,
No,
but
it literally was the worst.
Yeah.
And I stayed at the Wynn, Jessie. It was
Yeah, I
nice.
know, which is
It
like
was
one of the
nice.
nicest hotels.
But
I
it's
know.
like I wake up and I even said, can I pay for them to just bring one up? Like I paid $25 for them to bring a refrigerator up so I could put high noons in it.
Your pregame stuff.
I'm like, listen, I'm gonna save a little money and get a little
Got
pregame.
some water to hydrate you afterwards.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I had my water, I brought my electrolytes, my protein, my fiber, my creatine. I was ready, honey. But I did have a fridge with high noons in it. And I had to pay like $25.
Oh my God.
But no, she's like, no, it's not an option. So every morning, Jessie, right when I woke up, before I even scrolled on my phone, I would order coffee because it's a 40 fucking minute wait.
Oh, I was say $40. How much was it though? I want to know. What was a carafe of coffee?
My coffee was $15, and of course I tipped. So essentially it's a $20 cup of coffee that I have to wait 40 minutes for. It's bullshit. They force you to go broke at these places over coffee. So that's it. Okay. Moving on. Then I heard a clip, or I saw a clip when I got home from BravoCon of the two were Emily and Gina, frickin' frack dink and doink, on the carpet getting interviewed. And they're like, yeah, so, what do you think about Matt, showing up to the reunion? They're like, well, I just, the way he treats women, it was too far. It was too much. Fucking Emily had the balls to say, she goes, Shane would never treat a woman that way. Bitch, let's talk about his alleged. No, guess what? She goes, Matt Janella should never treat women that way. But guess what? Shane should never treat his ex-wife that way. Because I heard allegedly, there's a DV case out there that his ex-wife filed. Do you know that? There is allegedly court papers that document a DV case that Shane's ex filed against him and is potentially the reason why his kids didn't want to go live with him after the divorce.
Oh,
Jessie, like that's out there. Like that has been talked about on social media. So there's that. Okay. But let's pretend that there's a chance that maybe this DV case, I haven't read the court documents, but I need to, and I want to. What if it doesn't exist? What if that didn't happen? Your husband was a complete dick to you, Emily. For an entire season. He shamed you with your food. He ignores you. He laughs at you. He doesn't support you. And you're going to sit here and say that Matt Janella was anything but a supportive husband on that fucking reunion stage. And here's the thing, Jessie, Matt and Katie are my friends at this point, but I will tell you, if I thought Matt went too far, I would say, listen.
You would say it.
I would say that I wouldn't want a man to speak to me that way. I thought you were rude. I thought you blah, blah. I did not think any of those things. I don't give a fuck if Matt Janella showed up there and cut off Jen or Gretchen. They deserve that. A man can cut off a woman and it's not disrespectful if they've been a complete asshole, bully, mean girl to your wife and for an entire season. And they've called you, Matt Janella, a liar on national TV and you're there to defend yourself. Cut them off. He did it once and they're going to act like, oh, he's mean to women. Fuck you. That narrative is false. And it pisses me off so bad that Emily and Gina have the balls to say that when Matt Janella, and I read the comments, everybody's on Matt Janella's side. They're like, he was so well-spoken. Yes. Was he heated? Was he pissed about having to defend himself and his wife? And you guys are fucking assholes to her and him all season? Yes. but rightfully so. And he's the only guy that showed up, not to
Exactly.
fight these women. He wanted to say his truth, the truth,
Mhm.
to Ryan and Slade, who pussied out and didn't go. So they're
That's right.
trying to spin the narrative that Matt came there to fight with the women. No, he did
Mhm.
not. He came there to fight with the men, and not fight with them, but like
But at least,
play
like,
his
tell
side,
his side. Yeah.
defend himself and his wife.
Mhm.
And they're gonna try and act like he's mean to women. Fuck you. Like, you're mean
Mhm.
to women. Emily,
Oh my god. Yeah, huge woman hater. I know.
nobody's
Yeah.
more mean to women than Emily angry pellets up the ass Simpson, okay? Adjust your testosterone.
Right.
Adjust your pellets. Like, it's
Mhm.
crazy. So I just was like, "You've got it." That's why these women are just so insufferable. Nothing Matt did was out of line on that stage. Did he come to
Yeah.
play? And Andy said it. Yes, he came to play, and
Mhm.
he's fired up, and he's allowed to be. That was mild in comparison to what I would fucking say to these hoes. Like,
Oh,
that
yeah. Oh,
was
yeah.
mild, you know? And I
Mhm.
know he's a man and they're women, but don't try to act like he got in your space. He called you a name. He cussed you. He didn't do any of those things.
Right.
He cut you off one time and you deserved it. Shut your mouth,
Right.
Grudgers. You've
Right.
done enough
And, like,
talking.
yeah, and it's not inappropriate for him to have been there either. Like you said, he was there to speak his truth against the other men who were at that dinner, who
That's
were,
it.
saying that, yeah, so, yeah.
No, I just I couldn't
But at least
believe.
the people know. We all know. We
Yeah.
know, so they can say all they want.
They can see all they want. They can see all they
That's right.
want. So the Rhode Island show has been officially announced, the Housewives.
Announced.
So that's exciting. I'm definitely gonna watch.
Hey, what
Um,
about, Vicky being back on the OC?
oh,
'Cause I'm trying to think, okay, I'm trying to
uh,
do some calculations in my
mm,
head and trying to, like, see the future
I
of
know.
who's gonna be on the cast. I'm like, "Okay, so she's on Who's Out," and we all don't want it to be Katie,
Oh, yeah,
but I'm
I'm glad
getting
you brought that up.
nervous. Oh, okay,
Let me tell you the talk, what the streets are saying at BravoCon.
okay,
This is what the streets
okay.
are saying. It is potentially going to be a show with Vicky on it, Tamra, and Katie,
Mhm.
and that
Oh,
Vicky would be another ally with them
mhm,
potentially
mhm.
and build the show around them, and maybe I do know that they're casting right now, and they've been casting some of Katie's friends. They've been talking to some of Katie's friends.
Okay.
So maybe they will be on the show, maybe not. But in talking to Katie, she does not at all think that her seat is secured at all.
Mhm,
She's like, I could totally see them firing me, getting rid of it. Like, I could totally see that. But then others that I'm talking to, and this is includes people in the Bravoverse, friends of mine, whatever, content creators, that it could potentially be a show centered around those three women that I just said. I cannot imagine a show built around Emily Angry Simpson and Gina and or Gretchers or what are we doing? No,
I know,
Heather
honestly.
Dubrow snooze fest. Like, and everybody's like, yeah, get her over to Beverly Hills. I don't really want her on any of the franchise, but like,
No.
whatever, I would be fine. I'd be fine. Go to Beverly Hills, fine. She's not a fit on the OC, I will say. Like, I
Mhm.
just don't I whatever. But at the same time, Jessi, I don't need to see Vicky on my script. I don't need Vicky. I don't think
I
she's
know,
interesting. I don't think
I
she's
know.
funny. I don't. And I told Tamara that. I was like, she's not my favorite housewife. Like, whatever. She got her orange and she's like sleeping with it and posting it. Okay, moving on. Like, I don't even think that's exciting news. I wasn't excited about that. But
Mhm,
if she can be an ally to Katie and Tamara and they can build a show around them, and it means that Emily and or Gina will go and Gretchers will go, cool, fine. Let's
mhm.
go, Vicky.
Right,
I'm team
right.
Vicky then, you know? So
Mhm.
that was that. I'm glad you brought that up because that's a little bit of like what the word on the street is, but nothing is
Mhm.
confirmed and I can't say that with any like certainty
Okay.
or confidence. What else is there anything you want to know before we because I know you got to go in about
No,
10
well,
minutes.
they announced that Jeff Lewis's show Flipping Out again or Flipping Out what
Yeah,
he
again,
said it's basically like
the
the
working
19th.
title.
Yeah, or whatever season it is.
Yeah,
So I'm really glad that's coming back on because that's a show that I just literally can devour. Like,
absolutely.
I hate that it's like a weekly thing because I would watch it all in one
I would
it
too.
fits every single one of my needs of, like,
Same.
the reality, the
The
design, and he
mess.
said he's gonna be doing more about his podcast, which is, we love his podcast, and so,
Yeah,
I'm very excited about that.
me
Um,
too. Oh, we
For
went to
news,
Heather
there's
McDonald's show real quick.
oh, yeah, I was gonna bring that up because that was your so this is like Thursday night we've
God, this
talked
was
about,
like
but
yeah,
then you had
well, no,
Friday
no,
night,
it
you
was
went to
Friday
Heather.
night. Yeah, so then
Yeah, so
Friday
we got
night,
through all your Thursday night stuff.
got through that. Friday night, we being myself, Chef Stu, and Zach Peters, we went to Heather McDonald's show and we had like a little VIP experience. She put us like up front and the show was great. It was hilarious. I was laughing the whole time.
And I loved the venue it was in. It was like one
Oh,
of those venues that had all the, what like banquet booth tables or, what
yes.
they're like I
It was
loved
at the
that. I loved the venue.
MGM.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was at the MGM. It was very well attended. I loved it, loved it, loved it. When the show was over, the 3 of us got to go back to her suite, and so Heather McDonald, Brandy, Julie were there. Her son Drake was there, and the 2 girls, I met them, they were also in Heather's show. So do you know who Andrea is? And she does the really good Kristen Cavallari and Teresa Giudice
Oh,
impressions.
yes, yes, yes. Yep,
I
mhm.
mean, so
She's
she was
really known
part
for her Teresa.
yeah, oh, so
I don't think I've ever seen her do the Kristen
oh,
Cavallari
her Kristen Cavallari
impersonation.
is probably even better than Teresa, which is, like,
Oh,
hard to say. Yeah, she's so good.
yeah.
So I met her. She was so nice, so pretty, so dead on, like, so good in the show. And then a girl named Anna, who's also a creator. She was also in, Heather's show, and she did Bethany. She played Bethany during the show, and she did really
Yeah, so,
good.
like, it would be like Heather was interviewing them, and
Yes.
then they would
So
do
she
that
was
per okay, yeah,
interviewing she was interviewing
yeah.
Teresa and, like, it was so good, and then Bethany comes out in a chicken costume, and, like, she's interviewing Bethany, and Bethany's like, "Yeah, I run everything, I own everything, yeah, da, da, da." You're just, like, such a
Yeah.
big, like she was really good. And so they were great, they were in the suite, and then Heather's PR guys were there. I forgot their names, they were super nice, and Stu knows them, and we
Mhm.
had run into them, like, a couple times, so sweet. And then we all got to go to the club at
Which
Hakkasan.
I saw that footage, which looked
Girl, Kyle Cook was
incredible.
DJing, like, it was like a
Yeah.
whole thing. So we were just, like, clubbing it up, but by that time, Stu was sort of, like, hungover from the day before. It was late, like, Heather's show didn't start till 10, so we stayed for a
Everything's,
little
like,
while.
catching up. Yeah.
Everything caught up, so we ended up leaving after a certain point, but that was super fun. And then, yeah, like, it was, everybody
I mean,
would
did
end
you
up
walk around and see, like, the Bravo Bazaar? Because I thought that was really cool that they had, like, all the Bravo
shops.
celebrities could, like yeah, could, like,
Everybody was
hawk their
there.
stuff. Yeah.
Angie Katsanevis had a booth. Nikki Hilton was there and had a booth. Kathy
Oh,
Hilton
wow.
was there and had a booth. Oh, and Katie gave me her perfume, which I will do a video about. It smells
Okay.
really, really good. And who else? Every Bravo Leb had a booth. Kyle Cook
Yeah.
had a booth. Like everybody had a booth. So yes, that
Right.
was a thing.
And then they had, like, a Bravo museum where they had, like, it was, like, the swordfish from the,
Yes.
Greystone Manor,
Yeah.
from where Luann was gonna stay, they had, like I thought honestly, this is what I have to say. And I watched it from afar,
Sure.
but it was I love it's so meaningful for all of us who have, like, watched this, especially, like, from the beginning, and, this is part of, like, the fabric of who we are, like, to have what they did, like, went from the panels to the award show to the bazaar, the Bravo Bazaar that they had, the museum. It just seemed like a huge celebration
It
and I
was.
know it's silly to a whole groups of people that they don't could care less. Same thing for us in football. I could care
I don't
less.
give
I
a
don't ever
shit.
need to go to a football museum. I don't care.
No.
But, like, this I do care about, and so it's like, I love that they do this for the fans, and what a wonderful way to, like, celebrate, and I think also celebrate all the Bravo celebrities who put themselves out
Out
there,
there for
who
our
put themselves
entertainment.
yes, and, like, honestly, some of their lives, a lot of crazy drama have happened in their lives, and we've seen it's just but we all go through it with them in a way, so it's just really I really do love
I do
this
too.
whole
It's
experience,
an
and I know it's
iconic
gotten bigger and
event.
better.
It's an
Yeah.
iconic event, and the one thing I will say too, because I know we need to wrap, we did karaoke one night. So Ceci, and I think her name's Angela, I could be wrong, but they're the Bravo Docket girls. They have the Bravo
Mhm,
Docket podcast.
mhm.
Excellent podcast. It's about Bravo, but it covers all like the lawsuits and the legal drama that they get into, which
Oh,
is a lot. So like the
there's
Erica
a lot.
Durdy,
Yeah, and it keeps
oh my
coming, yeah.
God, everything.
Yeah.
So they hosted a BravoCon like creators event. So it was just for creators, which I was like, we had to go to that. Like, because I wanted to meet all these other creators that I binge their content and vice versa. So we went to it. It was at this place called the Smelly Cat. And it was like kind of off the beaten path. It was raining, but we all trekked through the rain to get there. And I'm so glad we did. We walked in and I immediately saw Rach, I think her name is, or Rach, RAYCH. She does Bravo like content and I love her. And so I told her, I was like, I love your content. Then I saw the Bravo mom. I think her name's Ashley. She lives in the OC. She's the Bravo mom. Like she talks about Bravo, like Bravo stuff.
Yeah, I know her Instagram.
Yeah, everybody was there. Chloe was there. She's another one who like she has a TikTok and she gives like funny like hot takes, on the Housewives. I was there. Zach Peters was there. Chef Stewart was there. Oliver was there. Farai
Like
was
all the
there.
content creators that
All
are
the
like big
content
with
creators.
Bravo.
Yeah, anybody that you see like covering Housewives, and I'm missing so many. It's hard to remember everybody's names, but it was so much fun, so much good mingling, drinks, and I did get to do a little karaoke, as you saw.
We saw, girl. And I mean, of course it's rapping. I mean,
I had to. I had to drop a little
yeah.
something on them, Jess. And what I will tell you is these are all like my new friends. They don't know me very well,
Right,
and
right.
I had told them, I said,
They
"Oh
don't know you
yeah."
personally,
Yeah,
yeah.
I said, "I put in a couple songs." They're like, "Oh, you did? Okay, cool." Like, whatever. And when I went up there and did like gangster rap, like they were
Yeah.
laughing so fucking hard and they filmed it. And like you can even hear their like reactions in the background. Like Farai's like, I am dying. I am
Yeah.
dead. It was
'Cause you
just
could easily be the one that's like, "Let's go, girls." Bow, wow, like one of
an
those.
hour
But
journey.
no, it's like,
Don't
it's
stop
got a hug.
believe. Oh no, it was Gin and Juice by Snoop
I
Dogg.
know.
And it was my favorite though was I did Fuck You off of Dr. Dre's Chronic 2001.
Yeah. Bow, bow,
Bow,
down,
bow,
down,
bow,
down.
bow. I just want to fuck bad bitches.
Yeah.
When I
Oh my
busted
god.
out with that, I will say it was just what the everybody was like, "What the fuck?" Like
Yeah.
the way Chef Stu stared at me and his mouth was on the floor because he didn't know I had it in me. He was just like,
No, they don't. The thing is
"They don't
that's what
know
it
me
we
like
don't
that.
we know you.
You
We
know me. That's normal
who
for
know and
me."
love you and have known you since you were a babe.
Yeah,
We know who you are. We know what raised you.
yeah.
We listen to the same music. So it's like that is what is like we know those songs by heart and that is what you not only do you do karaoke rap, but you actually write your own raps like
This is true.
original.
This is true, but only for people I love. It is like a
That's right.
gift from me. I
Yeah.
reminded Heather McDonald recently. I'm like, I got drunk on a plane on my way to CrimeCon, and I don't know if you remember, but I wrote a rap for you on the plane. And I had my friend who's a podcaster and comedian deliver it to your ass at the front of the plane. And it was like a whole thing where she's like, "Oh my God, can you find it?" I'm like, "I wrote it on a napkin. It's not in the iCloud anywhere." Like, I don't.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do like to write raps. It's like kind of my
Yeah.
little thing. But that was so fun. And
Yeah, and you did say, like, meeting all the content creators was really special, right? Because it's
it
kind of
was
like that was like a
beyond
special,
special.
yeah,
And
bond, yeah.
they were so Giorgio is the sweetest. I'm telling you, go follow Giorgio.
I am
I
going
think
to,
yeah,
yeah,
Giorgio says, I think that's what his name is. You'll find him easily.
yeah.
He came up to me at the and we'll wrap up after this. He came up to me at the karaoke bar and we had gone there together. Like he was just this, but he just literally got up off his chair, kneeled in front of me, put his hands on my legs, and he said, I just needed to come up to you and tell you. I'll cry. Like he's like, I had to come up and tell you, I am so grateful that I met you. And you are he just was like, he
So
is that guy.
genuine and yeah,
He's
oh,
the
I love that.
sweetest. I love him. I'm in
Good
love with him.
energy.
Like I love them all. Oliver, same. Farai, same. Like it just Chef Stew. We just all of us bonded like so deeply. And I'm sure we all want to collab now. So I'm really excited
Oh,
because
yeah, I know, I can't wait for all that. I mean,
you're
yes.
gonna see collabs
Are they
for
all,
sure.
like, LA based or most of them LA based?
Oliver's in Dallas, but I was like,
Oh,
he'll come to he's like, I come to LA like often enough because this
oh,
is what he
good.
does for a living. But I was like, listen, I'll come to Dallas and because I don't think he has a podcast, but I'm like, we'll do a TikTok collab. I'll come to Dallas
Yeah,
just to do one with
okay,
you,
yeah.
but you
Mhm.
can come to LA and do my podcast in the studio. And Farai and I talked about doing that,
Perfect.
me and Chef, obviously, we're gonna recap this week. So anyway, that is what went on at BravoCon. If I can think of anything else, that you will be the first person
Oh,
Did I
yeah, I know, I
tell?
mean, Mara's I mean, thank you, Mara,
Yeah,
like, I have
'cause
to
you
go
have to
pick up my
go.
daughter, but I honestly will talk more about this. I do wanna say thank you for being, you were the boots on the ground, but, like, you had incredible access, for it
Yeah,
wasn't just, like, buying a ticket and going. I think you deserved this. I think it's kinda
thank you.
celebrating also, like, where you're at, and it's just I'm just so happy for you, and thank you for bringing this all back t for all of us because, I'm watching from afar, but,
Yeah,
I know I was even thinking, like, I couldn't even like, I think in, like, my if I was when at 20, I would've gone to Coachella and maybe, like, camped out in the back of my car or something like that. Now, no, unless I have, like, a VIP access or, but now
same.
it's like you actually had, really good access, VIP access to multiple things over the weekend, and
Yeah,
look what it did. I mean, it just really
so
the
fun.
networking you did. Yeah, it was
Yeah, so
incredible.
fun, so fun. So, yeah, if I have anything more to spill, you'll be the first to know, but
Yes,
thank you for indulging me, and
yes.
I
Couldn't
we
wait. I could not wait to hear this.
good. Well, you're the best, and I know that the next BravoCon, you just have to go with me,
Yeah,
so
I
I
think
need
they
my
said
girl there.
2027 though,
I
like, he
know.
announced it. Yeah, that's
Well,
okay.
the good news is we're still gonna be besties then, so, like, we
Yeah.
could still go. Like,
Yeah.
you ain't going anywhere, I ain't going
Yeah.
anywhere.
I might not be as snatched though.
Same.
It's like, 2 years is a
Oh,
lot.
bitch. Oh, bitch, we will have our lower facelifts by then. We will
God,
have our
or
lower
threads
facelifts
or
by then.
something. I don't know what.
Threads, let's talk to Lisa about the threads.
Yeah, just the threads, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I love you. Should we say our
I
little
love you.
thingy to close this thing out?
Yes.
All right. Fix your face
Stay looking hot.
because you
You
don't
don't
wanna
wanna
end
end up
up
with
with a
a crappy
crappy
mugshot.
mugshot.
Bye.
Bye.